What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost. I'm waiting for AEW Rampage and Smackdown review for August the 12th, 2022. On the road to All Out and Clash at the Castle. Both of those will be happening the same exact weekend. Clash is on one day. All Out is the next day. So we're going to start with Rampage as we do. Not much news or anything to talk about, but let's talk about this. We had the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championships, which I did not know there was any prominent company out there that had mixed tag team titles until Sammy and Tay went to AAA and actually fought for these titles. They take on Dante Martin and Sky Blue. We also have Orange Cassidy versus Ari Daivari, as well as Sonny Kiss making their return to AEW television in 2 years, taking on the Trustbusters, Parker Boudreaux. As well as we hear from Bryan Danielson, we hear from Hook, we hear from Swerve in Our Glory, and that's pretty much it. So, also we have Beardhausen versus the Gun Club, that as well. So, the show starts off with Danielson coming out, and he says he's been wrestling for 23 years, and he doesn't know if he'll ever be 100%, as he was asked by Tony Schiavone if he'll be 100% anytime soon. But he knows he needs to feel 100% alive. And he says he's never more alive than when he's in the ring. He will never stop wrestling he'll never willingly stop wrestling. As long as he can go, and someone will have to end his career, but it won't end on Wednesday. Danielson Garcia comes out and says, no, it's no secret. Danielson is his hero. You're my hero, Bryan. But his hero is giving excuses. He says he can't keep putting him through retiring, unretiring. He says, that hurts me. And when you hurt me, that makes me want to hurt you. And he says, like, next week you're going to call me the best technical, the greatest technical sports entertainer out there. And Danielson is not happy about even hearing the word sports entertainment, which, with Vince McMahon retiring and WWE going back to the wrestling route, sports entertainment shtick needs to die. It's time to kill the term sports entertainment and just replace it with professional wrestling. Danielson, he's been all about violence since he got here, and he says he hates that sports entertainment bullshit. He says that Garcia was one of the first names he mentioned when the BCC first started because he had his technique in the ring, and he watched this dude at a young age wrestle a 60-minute match and have some of the best technique he's ever seen. And he wants to know one thing next week is, like, are you going to be do you want to be known as the best technical sports entertainment on the planet or the best technical wrestler in the world? He'll leave that to him. He throws down the mic and walks away. So that is happening, of course, this coming Wednesday. We had the video package of CM Punk's return from this past Wednesday. Before we go to ringside, we have Tay Mello, which she is now Tay Mello in the ring, which people wonder, why is she going by Tay Mello instead of Tay Guevara? I guess Tay Mello just sounds better. Tay Conti was her marriage name, her name by marriage of her ex-husband. So, it wouldn't be smart because she got remarried to have her husband's name, or ex-husband's name anymore. So, they take on Dante Martin and Sky Blue. This is a mixed tag match, not an intergender match. AEW's only had really technically one intergender match, and that was on the Jericho Cruise 2 years ago. Guevara and Martin, Guevara pushes Martin before Martin changes on him. This was a fun match. Sky Blue definitely is something. Like, Tay Conti should be wrestling a little bit more. I don't know why. I know she's the heel now and everything, but I don't know why she hasn't been wrestling that much at all. This was her first match, I think, since April, something like that. So I don't know why she's not wrestling that often. I don't care if she's part of the JS. That doesn't make a damn difference. But she's good. Sky Blue's got a great future. I know people want to see her go out there and actually get some wins. But Sky Blue is young. She just joined the company basically on crowd reaction alone at All Out last year. Like Rampage, the Rampage before All Out last year. And Tony Khan needed a sub for the Battle Royal due to taking out, I think it was Tay Conti. Did they not? Wasn't it Tay Conti they took out of the Battle Royal last year and replaced her with Sky Blue? So, yeah. Talk about full circle, if that's the case. I'm pretty sure, wasn't it Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill who attacked Tay Conti. Was it not Tay Conti? I'm not sure. But this match, men face the men, women fight the women. Of course, the women will get an attack on the men towards the end of the match, as they would. But Sky Blue definitely has seen improvement over the last year. She is definitely going to be someone to look out for in 2023 and 2024. And in the end, Tay Conti. So the ending sequence was great. You had Dante Martin. He did a Canadian Destroyer onto Sammy Guevara over Tay Conti. Tay Conti hits him with a Tornado DDT. Sky Blue hits Sammy Guevara with a Hurricane Rana. But Sky Blue, young and inexperienced, hits the Hurricane Rana. But instead of getting right back on to attack Tay Conti, plays up to the crowd like, yeah, I did it. Let's get this going. Eats a super kick. TKO. Tie KO. I'm sorry. Tie KO. 1, 2, 3. Sammy and Tay retain the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championships. Again, I didn't know these things even existed until they went and, We get a video of Lucha Bros calling out Andrade El Idolo and Rush. Obviously wanting to set up for the match in the trios if they make it to the Summer Finals together. They announced that PAC will be returning next Wednesday, and then they do announce that on the 24th, it will be the United Empire versus the Lucha Bros in the Trios tournament. Now, of course, the United Empire can't be here completely because the G1 ends next Thursday, and unless Rampage next week would be live, and you would have a way to get Will Ospreay here to have it, it's just not going to happen. So they'll be here on the 24th. I would love to see the United Empire at least make it to the semifinals, but I don't know if we're going to get that lucky. It's just, it's going to be great. It's going to be good stuff. So, Death Triangle will be seen next week, and we'll see what happens from there. Parker Boudreaux versus Sonny Kiss. Anyone been following anything when it comes to the Trustbusters? They were formed on Dark. This past Tuesday or Monday, the Trustbusters were having a 6-man tag team match against Sonny Kiss and 2 jobbers. The 2 jobbers get absolutely destroyed while Sonny Kiss sat on the apron and was like, I'm fucking done with this shit. Fuck this garbage. I deserve better than this. They're just sitting there with this attitude on their face. Like, why am I, I've been here for 3 years and this is what I'm doing. So the jobbers get destroyed. Ari Daivari goes over to Sonny Kiss and says something to him. And then they leave. Sonny Kiss is just sitting there thinking about whatever Ari Daivari said. Well, we get this match here. Doesn't last very long. Parker Boudreaux hits his finish, which he needs a new finisher. His finisher is awful. Just saying. So he wins. This would not be the last time we see Parker Boudreaux or Sonny Kiss later in the night, as you'll see them towards the end of the show. We head to the back where the AFO, as Andrade El Idolo introduces Rush to everyone. He says they will win the Trios titles. As Isaiah Cassidy said, it's time to whip them up. And they've been sleeping on them way too long, and they're going to show them next week that they are worth more than they are being shown. The team of Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy, and their AEW careers were sabotaged by Matt Hardy and this whole Hardy family office. When they were teamed up with Matt Hardy, I was like, this is great. These guys are young, they're hungry, they're going to be guys that need that guidance from a guy like Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy, a tag team specialist, being teamed up with Private Party to guide them in the right direction, and it was a disaster from the start. I wouldn't say from the start. It looked good for a few months, and then they added Butcher and Blade, TH2, all these other things, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And they have not gotten any better. It has been Private Party that you saw in 2019 is the same Private Party you see now. They have just been hampered. Their entire AEW career so far has been sabotaged, and it's a damn shame because they should be a lot better off than they are, and it sucks. Beardhausen, that is Eric Redbeard, and Danhausen takes on the Gun Club. So, bell rings, Redbeard and Colton begin the action, get the Ash Boy chant rolling around. Danhausen gets in early. As we go to commercial break, of course, Danhausen gets beat up as much as possible. Beard, he does tag in Eric Rowan, Redbeard. Eric Redbeard starts beating the hell out of everything, taking these guys down. The reason Eric Redbeard is here is because he's from Minneapolis. They are in the area, so he is here to have a match and to visit friends, visit the company that had his boy Brody Lee had Brody Lee in the company before Brody passed. So that's why he is here to be a hand for them. He's running wild. He takes both gun clubs down, and he goes to tags in Danhausen. Danhausen sets up what it looks like they're going for the last chapter, or what would be the Authors of Pain finisher, which is the Russian leg sweep and clothesline. Aubrey is distracted, and Eric goes off the ropes. Billy pulls the ropes down. He falls out. Famouser to Danhausen, 1, 2, 3, and the Gun Club win. After the match, Billy grabs the mic and he's like, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me. This is what you're giving me?" He says, "This is why they call you guys the Ass Boys and why I missed the Acclaim." He says, "You guys have another chance on Wednesday, and you guys need to, bulk up and, straighten up." He walks away. They're leaving. Stokely Hathaway is in the area where the fans are, and wants to give him a business card, but they just walk away without grabbing it. So, and Stokely's like, I'm wearing on him. He had to do this with Lee Moriarty. He didn't have to really do that with Ethan Page, but he did it with Lee Moriarty. Well, it took him a few weeks. So here you go. Backstage, Swerve and Glory with Lexi there, and they asked what they feel about Private Party being asked to challenge him. And they say Lee was able to take him. And he's like, "I took down Isaiah, and his boy Quinn got destroyed too. How do you guys think you have any chance of standing up to us when you couldn't stand up to me?" And they said, "You guys are on a ranked team, but we'll take them on, and they can have their shot." So that is going to be happening next Friday. Who's going to face Swerve and Glory at the pay-per-view? Don't fucking know. We'll see. Back in the ring, here comes Hook. Hook comes to the ring. Tony Schiavone asks him, "Is it my understanding that the FTW title has an open always has an open challenge?" Hook says, "Yup." Before he can say anything else, out walks Zach Clayton. Real one, a star of the Jersey Shore. He wants to accept that challenge. Hook, of course, is from New York. Clayton is from New York. It's from New Jersey. That's a rivalry, in-state rivalry, right? A state rivalry right there. And it'll happen next week on Rampage. I saw people going, "Why is this nobody getting a title match?" First off, it's a road championship that doesn't have any precedent in AEW. Any Joe Schmo on the planet Earth wants to come in and fight for the FTW title, they can. It doesn't fucking matter. Second, Zach Clayton has been in AEW multiple times when they go to Jersey, usually on Dark. I believe he was on the first show they went to Jersey since being back in the States. He was back in front of full crowds. He was there and he had a match. Of course, he lost. But I've seen him work. He's not that bad. Is he going to get beat up by Hook? Absolutely. Is he going to get some work in on Hook? Maybe. Hook is a champion. It is time for this guy to start seeing having some struggling matches. He did have his first real challenge when he took on Ricky Starks and won the FTW title. I'm not saying Zach Clayton's going to be able to come relatively close to beating Hook, but at least get some licks on Hook before Hook obviously destroys him and puts him in the Red Room. So that is next week. Back from break, we have Ari Daivari versus Orange Cassidy. This match was pretty good. Ari Daivari, definitely somebody who, they're doing this whole Trust Busters gimmick. He's the richest man in all of professional wrestling. I call bullshit. And they go back and forth. Of course, the Trust Busters try to get involved. You have the Best Friends who are out there to help Orange Cassidy. In the end, Orange Cassidy wins with the Orange Punch. After the match, Slim J attacks Orange Cassidy. The Best Friends take care of him. Parker Boudreaux comes in and takes down the Best Friends with one clothesline. Then in the corners, Orange Cassidy gets up, Sonny Kiss all of a sudden just comes out of nowhere, and you could see the heel turn coming a mile away. You could clearly see what was going on. Anytime somebody comes down and they're just like they're fidgeting and they're looking back, they're fidgeting like they're gonna act like they're fighting and looking back like I got this, I'm gonna help you out. Turns around, kicks Orange Cassidy in the dick. Parker Boudreaux hits him with his finisher, and Sonny Kiss has looked to actually join the Trustbusters. Will this be a good thing for Sonny Kiss? I mean, I don't know. Sonny Kiss has been in AEW for 3 years, has been the goody two-shoes babyface who has done next to nothing, has not been in any storyline other than the feud with Joey Janela, which was all exclusively on Dark. It's time. It's like Owen Hart said, enough is enough. It's time for a change. Will this be any good for Sonny Kiss? Do not know. We'll have to wait and see. Alright. Over to Smackdown. Intercontinental title within the main event. We had Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler contract signing, as well as what was supposed to be Ivar versus Kofi Kingston, but we'll get into that as well. And Cringe Row returns. Minus Swerve, who is over in AEW, having the best time of his life. And we'll talk about that stuff when we get there. So the show opens up. We have Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah versus Shotzi and Xia Li for the women's tag team title tournaments. This match fucking sucked. Raquel Rodriguez was fine. I wish she would fucking stop smiling. Vince McMahon is not backstage anymore. You don't have to put on the fucking fake ass eye. Smile. I gotta show my pearly whites. Can you please stop smiling? You look like your face is hurting every single time you walk out there with that smile. This match was rough. This match was rough. I don't know what it was, but Xia Li looks like she was lost out there, like she forgot what she was supposed to do, or she's not used to, apparently Triple H is letting people cause things in the ring. Not mapping it out when Vince McMahon would be like, you have to go, we have A to B, and here's everything between. Triple H isn't doing that. This is one of those matches, if that's the case, and they let that, Xia Li looks so lost, she wasn't used to doing these type of matches. She's used to probably being in matches that are, worked out beforehand. She looks so lost. And none of the other women, and it sucks because I know Shotzi's better than this. And she just looked bad too. Aaliyah looked terrible. Raquel Rodriguez with the Tahana bomb. Her and Aaliyah move on. We get a video of main event last week of Karrion Kross returning to the company. We head backstage and Karrion Kross to Scully. He says last week was a rebirth of the darkened soul, and it must be nice for Roman and Drew, the chosen ones, as him and Scarlett were just thrown out like yesterday's trash. He says they waited for the perfect time to strike, and in the end, everyone pays the toll. Tick-tock. Then we see that he was spying on Drew McIntyre, who makes his way to the ring, as he's going to have some words for Drew McIntyre. He addresses Kross following his attack last week and says he took a major opportunity. Says the only problem is the number one contender happened to him, and says he has 3 choices: knockout, hospital, or graveyard. He says he will send him back to the dungeon he crawled out of. He addresses Reigns before saying he isn't there tonight and says he believes his hype. He says it took multiple people to beat Brock Lesnar in SummerSlam, but he did it alone with his bare hands. Kross's music hits, and no Kross, but Scarlett walks to the ring. All the music's playing, everything. She gets into the ring. I think Kross is going to come from behind and beat him up. But no, it was the Usos. Usos beat up Drew McIntyre, hit him with the 1D. Then they go look over at Scarlett and says, you want to tell your man, if he wants to come around here and mess with the tribal chief, we're going to put him down as well. This is bloodline territory. You need to step up or step off. And she's like, that's funny because that's just the same thing he was saying about you guys. Her carrying across, of course. And then she walks away. Back from break, we get a video package hyping the Intercontinental Championship and the match set for later tonight. Not as good of a package as it was for the United States Championship heading into the match with Ciampa and building up to that match. Also, they did announce that on Monday, AJ Styles, for the first time ever, will take on Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. Bring it on. The Open Challenge is back. I like it. I just wish they would let the Open Challenge happen. Have Lashley come out, offer up the open challenge, and then somebody come out instead of announcing it a few days early. Shinsuke Nakamura is backstage with one of the interviewers, and he's like, "Tell Walter to come on," and he goes back to getting focused. Viking Raiders. Ivar versus Kofi doesn't happen as Kofi attacks both the Viking Raiders backstage, and with a kendo stick at the stage. That doesn't last very long. Shield to the face, and Kofi gets destroyed by Ivar as he splashes on top of him. Next week, we will get a funeral of the New Day from the Viking Raiders. So here comes the down part of the show. We got Fat Face Dipshit Loudmouth and $0. We got the discount the bargain basement Bianca Belair and B-Fab, and the Wish.com version of JTG and Ashanti the Adonis, all making their return to take on Trevor Irwin and Brandon Scott. The match was a squash match. You had Ashanti the Adonis and $0, the fat faced dipshit loudmouth, who's going to get fired again because he can't keep his mouth shut because he ain't humble. He thinks he should be a main eventer of WrestleMania even though he hasn't had a cup of coffee in professional wrestling. Give me a fucking break. They win. They have a cringy ass promo afterwards, and that was that. This shit fucking sucked. The entire group was put together to give Swerve a group, to give Swerve the character that he was lacking in NXT. Now Swerve is with Keith Lee in AEW doing way better than what this group's going to do. I bet you fat face dipshit bottom dollar $0 is on Twitter right now going, "See guys, I told you we belonged here, blah blah blah. I'm gonna be a world champion." Shut the fuck up, you fat face dipshit, you suck. If you were going to bring them back, put them in NXT. Just because you bring people back doesn't mean you need to bring them back to the main roster. These three are not even close to ready to being on the main roster. This act was for Swerve Strickland, not for these guys. You put them together to give Swerve his group, his groupies, his backup dancers, his backup singers, whatever. This group is shit without Swerve. Then, this was interesting. This would not have happened 4 weeks ago. We go to the commentator's desk, and they want to send their condolences to Jean LaBelle before we hit it. Like they have Pat McAfee and Michael Cole talk about Jean LaBelle, the guy. You have Bryan Danielson who does the LaBelle lock. This guy is where he got it from. He said Michael Cole lists off this guy's accolades. He was a figure, a major star, major figure in professional wrestling, MMA, sports entertainment, whatever. Trained Ronda Rousey. Trained who the fuck else did they say? Shit. But it's the fact that they even gave this guy condolences. I guarantee you, if the old man was still in charge, this would have never been said. So kudos to Triple H, who loves and respects the history of professional wrestling, unlike Vince McMahon, who doesn't give a shit about the history of professional wrestling because he doesn't like professional wrestling. Walter is backstage with Ludwig Kaiser. Walter says Nakamura will suffer at the hands of the Ring General. We go to the ring. We're supposed to have a contract signing, but Ronda Rousey comes through the audience with a bag in hand. No security around, even though she's supposed to be suspended. Grabs the mic, she says, "I know I'm not supposed to be here." Says she was fined a lot of money. Opens the bag, dumps it on the table. Says she probably won't be the last time Bandits is being expensive. Security, which is 2 security guards and a bunch of referees, finally come out. And she leaves the ring, takes one of the female security guard, and flips her, is going to break her arm, and says, "You know what, fuck this, I don't need this." Walks up the ramp. Shayna Baszler meets her up there. It's like, "What are you doing? You can't do that. What you can't get. This is not how you get your way. That's not how it works around here. You need to follow the rules to get your way." Ronda is not happy one bit with what she just heard come out of Shayna Baszler's mouth. She says, "You used to be a killer." Walks off pissed off. Planting those seeds. Telling you that when Shayna Baszler becomes SmackDown Women's Champion at Clash of the Castles, I'm calling it right now, we're getting Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey. A match we should have had when Ronda Rousey was Women's Champion. Instead of going time and time again to Ronda versus fucking Charlotte and others, we should have had Shayna versus Ronda big time. And we're getting that probably at Extreme Rules. She enters the ring she grabs the mic, shifts through the money on the desk before addressing the crowd, says, "Everyone watched her win the gauntlet match last week and says Morgan will be the next one to fall." Signs the contract, calls Morgan after the ring, she says she will tear Morgan's arm apart, limb by limb, and says she will step over her lifeless carcass and walk out of there as new champion. Morgan comes to the ring. She has got a better reaction this week than she did last week. Even last night she had a good reaction when they did their WrestleMania launch party, which we had 3 matches, by the way, which were decent at best. She calls, she had a good reaction. And then she opened her mouth after she said, "You're not going to beat me at Clash at the Castle. In fact, you're a bootleg Ronda Rousey." And she says she knows because she beat the real deal twice. And she will beat Baszler at Cardiff, signs the contract, and as soon as she uttered the words that she beat the real deal twice, the "you tapped out" chants came a-calling. Why did you say that? First off, Shayna Baszler is 3 times the pro wrestler and 3 times the sports entertainer, if you want to go there, in WWE than Ronda Rousey. I fucking hated in NXT when Shayna Baszler would have a match, was having a good match, and the fans there were chanting Ronda's shadow. No. Just because Ronda Rousey has the bigger name, no. When it comes to in the squared circle, Shayna Baszler is the better of the two on the mic, in the ring, in presentation. She was a killer. She is a killer. She's going to be a killer again. And she is going to be your SmackDown Women's Champion. And she's going to show you that she is not in Ronda's shadow. She's not a bootleg Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is in her shadow. And Ronda Rousey is a bootleg Shayna Baszler. So, Baszler loses it and slams Morgan's injured arm into the table. Twists the arm. Puts her on the mat and then goes for the stomp on the arm, but because her arm is still in the cast thing, her arm falls down. So when she stomps, it doesn't get as much of it. It doesn't have that same effect that it usually would. Then she sends it bouncing off her shoulder. She cranks it off her shoulder a couple times. She's fucking trying to break this woman's arm before Carter. So she's fighting a one-arm Liv Morgan. Like this is the Shayna Baszler we need. Now, she wanted to go for something else, but Morgan was able to counter it into a bulldog through the table, which looked kind of fucking hokey because she had... The table was too far away, so Shayna Baszler literally had to walk over to be able to get the bulldog through the table. We had backstage the same as Zayn and the Usos come out of Roman's locker, where he says when they were attacked. Jay says that if he doesn't step out, they will leave him behind. We get a video of WrestleMania 39 launch party from last night. Back in the ringside, the Usos head down the ring. They grab the mic and tell Drew McIntyre to pick a partner of their choice and get out of here. McIntyre's music hits and he heads to the ring. The Usos versus Drew McIntyre in a handicap match. But it didn't stay a handicap match, and I hate when they do this. And the match is going as it is. Drew McIntyre, of course, is facing 2 guys, so he is getting beat down for a minute. Out comes Madcap Moss. The bell already rang. The match is halfway through, and Madcap comes out. The referee's like, okay, well, it's supposed to be a tag match anyway, so, you're his partner. I hate when they fucking do that. If you're not there when the bell rings, then you shouldn't be counted. And then you look at this match, and it's like, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Roman Reigns is not in the building, so what happens to the Usos? They lose. Again. Claymore to Jimmy, 1, 2, 3, and Madcap and Drew McIntyre win. Jay, whatever. Or Jimmy, yeah. The other one tries to attack McIntyre, but McIntyre hits him with a Future Shock DDT. Looks to Claymore him, but Sami Zayn comes in, pushes him out of the way, and takes the bullet. So, and McIntyre just has this look of, oh well. And that was that. We had backstage of the photo shoot with the maximum male models, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, who are apparently getting their names back, thankfully. Approaching and asked to join the agency, Max says they aren't male model material. They said they weren't talking to you. They go over and they say, we were talking to you, Maxine, and to give him a call later. And you could just see the tension between Max and Maxine. So clearly, Triple H was not just going to say, well, we're going to move Max out and we're going to make a marionette again. We're going to find a way to get you booted from Maximum Male Models, have Maxine take over, you go away for a bit, and then come back as LA Knight. We get a video package hyping the Intercontinental title match. Caleb Braxton and Ricochet are backstage, and we got a video of the end of the match between him and Corbin last week. He said he is more locked in than ever before. He says it feels like he's been shot out of a cannon, and it feels wonderful. It doesn't matter who the Intercontinental Champion is because he'll be waiting in the next in line. Corbin comes out of nowhere and says, we're not done by a long shot. So that was that. We had the video hyping Nikita Lyons and Jody Starks as the tag team are heading to Smackdown next week. And man, Nikita Lyons, Zoe Starks has got a hell of a week next week. She has Heat Wave, where she takes on Mandy Rose for the Women's Championship. Probably going to lose that now, especially if they're both being called up. And then her and Nikita Lyons have a match on Friday for the tag team tournament, which honestly would not surprise me if they went to the finals and lost to Kai and Sky, who should be winning the tournament, mind you. Walter versus Shinsuke Nakamura Intercontinental Championship match. This was good. Was it great? Was it blow away? No, but it was good. These two battered the shit out of each other. I would never ever, if you asked me how much money it would take for me to take a chop from Walter, I would say you can't pay me enough. Like, when the match was over, by the time, when you get towards the end of the match, you can just see Walter's fingerprints, fingers, markings, in Shinsuke's chest. It looked horrible. Now, the story of this match, though, for Shinsuke was, well, I'm not bigger than this guy, but I'm going to work on something on his, work on a body part to get my chances a lot better. So he works on the arm. He's working on the arm. He kicks it. He's kicking it. He's breaking. He's trying to whittle that arm down. So because Walter uses the power bomb, and if you can't lift with both arms, you can't hit a power bomb. So he's doing that the entirety of the match. Obviously, Walter doesn't have to work on any body part of Shinsuke. He just beats the shit out of him. So these guys are going back and forth and everything. Walter did try, midway through the match to use the powerbomb, but he couldn't do it because of his arm. You can actually see him biting his hand at times when he's, trying to do a choke or he's trying to get the powerbomb up or something. He's biting his hand, I think, to alleviate the pain from his arm to make it so he could use the powerbomb. Nakamura, there was a spot in this match where you could just see how much the crowd was invested. Because Nakamura has Walter down. He is going for the Kinshasa. And he's hyping, he's getting himself set up. He's got the feet going. He looks like he's ready to go. And this guy goes for the Kinshasa, and the crowd, you could see him on the camera. Just on hard cam, just rise to the feet oh, he's gonna get him. Oh, he's gonna get him. Walter with the clothesline, though, the big lariat, the King Kong lariat prevents that. But wow, did everybody in that moment think we were getting a new champion and we were gonna get Shinsuke beating Walter. Unfortunately, did not happen. So, big, huge powerbomb. In the end, Walter picks up the win, and Walter retains the Intercontinental Championship. What a fun match. If you haven't seen it, definitely go back and watch it. Like I said, is it a blow-away match? No. Would it be much better on pay-per-view? Probably. If we can get this a rematch at Clash at the Castle, I would not be mad. You want to throw Ricochet in there to get a battering too? Fine by me. You want to throw Corbin in there too? Fine by me. Make it a fatal 4-way. Just get the Intercontinental Championship on Clash at the Castle. There's no fucking reason that title should not be on Clash at the Castle. Overall, really fun show. I would say this was probably the best SmackDown they've had in a while outside of the shit row match and promo after, which was absolutely cringe. They should not be called Hit Row. They should be Cringe Row because holy shit, they got a long way to fucking go before they're ready for the main roster and before anybody should give a shit about them. Rampage was fine. Rampage was decent. I wish they would. I wish Tony Khan would stop stuffing Wednesday nights with all the heavy hitters and put some heavy hitting stuff on Rampage. I mean, yeah, we had the trios tournament coming up, so it's definitely going to be it's definitely going to be like the next few weeks. We have what? Let me look at this. We got three trios. I'm pretty sure because you have. Yeah, this week, we'll have a semifinals match on Wednesday and a semifinals match on Friday on the go-home week. So the next 3 Rampages are going to have a trios tournament match in them, which is going to be great. And the semifinals one, of course, will be on a live edition, so it's going to be great as well. Can't wait to see what goes on with this, but hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, find me on Minds at the France Club, find me on twitch.tv/France Club, find me on Instagram at the France Club, and I'll see you guys on Monday for Raw. Until then, my name is Franz, and I'll see you guys later.